Hi, everybody. How are you all doing? I hope that you're fine and I hope that you had a great weekend. So, first of all, we will share the screen because we'll be having sentences, fragments, and run on. Okay, so all you need to do is log in using the aplusstudent.com. So you'll click on your email and your password to log in, and next you go to the grade. You click on your name, sorry, and then this is where you find the names, and then you go on to the grades you're working on. So we have grade 7. Okay, and all we do is just find the chapter we need to go to. Okay. Okay, so we have 3 lessons from sentence fragments on runner, and we will try to complete all of them. Okay, so yeah, so the first lesson says, is it a complete sentence or a fragment? All right, so first we need to know the definition of a sentence and then a sentence fragment. Okay, all right, so a sentence is a group of words that form a complete thought. It has both a subject and a verb. Okay, so one thing you need to note is that a sentence forms a complete thought. It makes sense. All right, it definitely makes sense, and then it forms a complete thought. Right, it has both a subject and a verb. So, for example, here we have my friends walk along paths. My friends work along the paths. Okay, so that's a complete sentence. Or you say, my name is Jane. Yes, for example, that's also a complete sentence. Okay, so yeah. Now, moving on to the sentence fragments, right? A sentence fragment is a group of words that does not express a complete thought. Okay, so one thing you need to notice that a sentence fragment does not express a complete thought. It is usually missing a subject, a verb, or a helping. Okay, so yeah, a sentence fragment is definitely missing something. Okay, it's either missing a subject, a verb, or a helping verb. It does not express a complete thought at all. It doesn't have a complete thought. Okay, so for example, we have knows the answer. Well, who knows the answer? We have no idea who knows the answer. It just says knows the answer. So this is a sex. It is missing a subject. Okay, because it just says knows the answer, and we have no idea who knows the answer, right? So that means it is a sentence fragment. It's missing a subject. So if you want to correct this, you'd say she knows the answer or he knows the answer. That means you've added up a subject to this sentence, okay, making it a complete sentence. Now, next one it says the bright red car. So it's a sentence fragment because it's missing a verb. So if it just says the bright red car, what happened to the bright red car? Is it moving, stopped, or what's going on with the bright red car? We no idea. Okay, so this one is missing a verb, and then we skiing next week. We skiing next week. This is a sentence fragment. It's missing a helping verb. Okay, so it's missing a helping verb, and it's just saying we skiing next week. So if with verb, it could possibly be we are going skiing next week. We're going skiing next week, but it just says we skiing next week. So it's missing a helping verb. Okay, so yeah, we have, let's see. Okay, there's an example here. Layers and layers of cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and onions is a sentence fragment. It is missing a verb. Okay, so missing a verb because it's what's going on. We do not have like a complete in that statement. It just says layers and layers of cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and onions. The sentence fragment is missing a verb. Okay, let's go on to see more examples. So note the difference that a sentence forms a complete thought. It has a subject and a verb, but sentence fragment does not form a complete thought. It's usually missing a subject, verb, or a helping verb. Okay, so the Modern Art Museum Awards for Most Promising Young Artists is a sentence fragment. It is missing a verb. Okay, so this sentence here, the Modern Art Museum's Awards for Most Promising Young Artists. Okay, it's missing a verb in the sentence. Okay, so let's go see if we find some more examples. So Blanca preparing for a career in constitutional law. So is a statement fragment is missing helping verb. So in this one now, you can literally say Blanca is preparing for a career in constitutional law. Okay, but it just says Blanca is preparing for a career in constitutional law. So it's missing a helping verb. Okay, so that's it about sentence fragments. It's definitely going to miss something. You would read the sentence and think that, oh, okay, this is correct. But no, of course not. It's not correct. It's definitely missing something in that statement. All right. So let's go try the test. All right. So now we have is it a complete sentence or fragment in this lesson? So we just need to identify which one is a sentence fragment and which one is a complete sentence. Okay. So that's what we need to do. We need to identify that. We have about 27 questions and we will try to do that together. So note again that sentence is a complete thought. It has a subject and a verb, but sentence fragment is not a complete thought. It's missing either a helping verb, subject, or a verb. Okay. Now the first one says, which is a sentence fragment. We have the junior soccer commences its new season in January. Layers and layers of cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and onions. So we had this in the tutorial. So this is it here. This is the one that is incorrect. All right. So we have electric eel stern prayer with intense electrical charge. Never spoke of Judy's secret to anyone except for her. So let's see this one. Okay. All right. So now is which is a sentence fragment wouldn't be able to produce red blood cells without a skeleton. News reports alerted everyone in the area to the approaching tornado. So now the first one is incorrect because wouldn't be able. So who wouldn't be able? Okay. So, but the second answer says news reports alerted everyone in the area on the approaching tornado. That is a complete sentence because it makes sense. Okay. But the first one is what? Fragments. So, all right. So, sentence fragments. Africa is a home to some of the world's civilizations. Trisha fulfilling her dream of hiking to the top of Mount St. Helens. Okay, so now when you need to find a sentence fragment, you need to find the one that is what missing something. Okay, so yeah, so let's see. Africa is home to some of the world's oldest civilization. Trisha fulfilling her dream of hiking to the top. So now maybe you get confused and you do not know which one to choose, and I'm just gonna pick anything. When you pick something that is wrong, it's going to show you this is how you do it. All you need to do is just scroll down. Okay, you scroll down. When you scroll down, you can have like a detailed explanation of the sentence fragments with examples also, just so that you can follow that again but for your next questions. Okay, so always just when you go down, yes, then you're gonna get it. Okay, so now they're asking of a complete sentence. So which is a complete sentence? The reporter writing and add questionable sources. Okay. The reporter writing an article with questionable sources. Now Shirin always enters audience with the raw emotion in her performance. Now the second one is correct because it makes sense. Okay. Now if you say the reporter writing an article with questionable sources, this is incomplete because it's actually missing something. When you read the sentence, you know that, oh, there's something. Okay, so let's say this one is a complete sentence because it gives you like a detailed explanation. It has both the subject and the verb. Okay, all right, so after the trial, now you need to find a complete sentence in this one. After the trial, new evidence emerged about the case. Red bean sure a big help around the house. Red bean short a big help around the house. Now, after the trial, new evidence emerged about the case. So the first one is correct. Okay? And yeah, because if you say one, it's missing a verb, helping verb. Okay. Now, which is a sentence fragment? Dairy products such as milk and cheese. The interior designer styled our living room with fashionable new decor. Okay. So now the second one is a complete sentence because it sure makes sense and it's perfect. Okay. So yeah. So it's going to be dairy products such as milk and cheese sentence fragments. Okay. So yeah. Now which is a complete sentence? You need to find a complete sentence. Okay. Now barged through the door in a hurry. Kyle and Sharon both handle themselves well under pressure. If you look at the first one, it just says barge through the door in a hurry. Who is barging into the door? We have no idea. Or who is going into the door, you know? So that is word A sentence fragments. But if you say Kyle and Shireen both handle themselves well during pressure, that is good. Makes sense because it's a complete sentence. So yeah. So that's everything for noting if it's a sentence fragment or noting words a complete sentence. Okay. So to note a complete sentence, it has a subject and a verb. But then the sentence fragment is missing something. Okay? So yeah, that's it. We'll move on to the next lesson now. So the next lesson says, is it a complete sentence or a run-on? Okay, so is it a complete sentence or a run-on? It's still the same explanation for the complete sentence. The complete sentence is a word that forms a complete thought. It has both a subject and a verb. Okay, my friends work along the path. So my friends is the subject and work is work, the verb. Okay, so this is a complete sentence, right? So next one we have a run-on. So what is the run-on sentence? A run-on sentence is made up of two independent clauses that are joined without end punctuation or just a comma. So now it is made up of two independent clauses that are joined without end punctuation or with just a comma. So they may not have an end punctuation or they're just joined with a comma. Okay, look at the example here. We have I knocked on the door, it opened. Okay, so now this is like two sentences that are joined together. These two sentences be separated by a period. Okay, it's supposed to be separated by a punctuation, but it's not separated. Okay, it's not separated. It's just joined together. So instead of raining, we ran inside. Now look at this one. It has a comma, but it's two different sentences that should be separated. Okay. Now, to fix a run-on sentence, separate it into two sentences, add end punctuation after the first sentence, and capitalize the second sentence. So, like I have said, a run-on two sentences that are joined together. Okay, so these sentences are to be separated, but they are joined together. So to fix it now, you need to put a period in between the two sentences. And then for the second sentence, you have to change it and begin with a capital letter. Just like look at this. I knocked on the door, it opened. So you see that the it now has been made what into capital letter because when you're starting a sentence, the first letter in that sentence needs to begin with word a capital letter. Okay, so yeah, that's basically every. And then the next one said it started raining, we ran inside. Okay, so that's literally like two sentences joined together that should be separated, but it has a comma. So yeah. Now, note that okay, you can also fix a run-on sentence by rewriting it as a compound sentence. Okay, so you can fix what a run-on sentence by rewriting it as a compound sentence. And what do we say about compound sentence? What are compound sentences? A compound sentence is made up of two clauses joined by a comma and a coordinating conjunction such as and, but, or, so. Okay, so if you do not want to separate, just put like a period, you can make them into a compound sentence. A compound sentence will join the sentence with a comma and a coordinating conjunctions. And the coordinating conjunctions are just and, but, or, so. These are the coordinating conjunctions. So, for example, I knocked on the door, it has a comma and it opened. That's another way to fix it. So it's either you put a period to separate the two sentences, or you put word a comma and then a conjunction. So it started raining, so we ran inside. You see, this is how it's separated. Okay. All right. So let's see the. So Emily is an ardent skier. She has trained for many years. Is a pronoun sentence. So she's an ardent skier. So it's supposed to be maybe separated. Okay, with a period or and. Okay. So yeah. It has two independencies that are joined by just a comma. Just a comma is not okay because you have two independent clauses. It's either you remove the comma, put it as a period, or you add a conjunction to that. Okay, so Emily is an ardent skier and she's trained for many years. Okay, and so we have a coordinating conjunction. Okay, so we have some more examples here. The vicinity are expensive. Hugo can't afford them. Okay, if you can see that's two sentences together. Okay, that's two sentences together. This one and then this one. It's a run-on sentence. It has two independent clauses that are joined without an end punctuation. So there's no end punctuation. Okay, so what do you do to fix them? You see, the restaurants in the vicinity are expensive and Hugo can't afford them. And okay, so that's basically it. So let's go see some more examples that we need to check. So the infant slumbered in his mom's arms is a complete sentence. So yeah, the subject is the infant and the verb is slumbered. Okay, so that's it. We'll move on to the test and see some more questions. Which is a run-on sentence? So we need to find the run-on sentence. So it's the first one because we had it in the tutorial, right? The restaurant in the vicinity are expensive. Hugo can't afford them. So yeah, and then which is a complete sentence. Now, Mrs. Carsby rummaged through the medicine cabinets for the thermometer. The Australian man designs where he races them in. Okay, so it should be the first one. Okay, it has a subject which is the lady. What she's doing, she's checking, she's rummaging. So yeah, this one is the verb. So we have the run-on now, which is a run-on sentence. Grab another log, the fire is dying down. In Japan, the Hanshin Expressway actually runs through a building. The one is a good sentence. So we can say grab another log, the fire is dying down as a run on. Okay? And then complete sentence. Our dog Bailey watches the mail carrier. Rarely she sometimes growls at them. Now, Chicago, business, and Rome really have the same latitude. So, what is going to be the answer here now? So, what if you pick this one or this one? So, let's go with the second one. So, that's the correct one. Because for the first one, it has the part that says she. So, it's supposed to be separated, but it was all joined together. So, which is a run on sentence? Hail painted the roof during the storm last night. Clean your camera lens. There's a fingerprint on it. So, run-on sentence. So, which one here is a run-on sentence? So, let's see. Mm, during the storm last night. Clean your camera lens. Okay, it's the second one. And then which is a complete sentence. In 1954, Beth hit Anne Hurch inside her own living room. Beth will recite this poem. It was so yeah, the first because the second one says Beth will recite this poem. It was written by Emily Dickinson. So you see, it was written. It's supposed to be separated, but it's joined together. Okay. So yeah, which is a run-on sentence. The coach criticized the referee from his bad call for his bad call, and then the explorers ventured into the jungle and they battled dense vegetation. So now, the explorers ventured into jungle. One, they battled dense vegetation. So this one. Okay. So which is a run on here? Lynchings flourish in some of the most extreme environments on Earth. Emily's answer. Okay, so which one is the run on here? This one. So that's basically everything for run on and complete sentences. So you just need to read the two sentences and then you can note the one that has a problem, the one that is friends. Okay, so that's it. All right, so let's move on to the last lesson. So the last one is like a compilation of all. So, um, is it a complete sentence, fragment, or Mhm. So now this is joined together everything that we've done so far. So it's you having to like figure out the sentence fragment, which one is a run on from all of them, from all of the above. Okay. So we all know that the sentence group of words that forms a complete word. It has both a subject and a verb. That is for the sentence. Now, the sentence is a group of words that does not express a complete thought. It is usually missing a subject, a verb, or helping verb. Okay? Now, a run on sentence. Run on sentence is words made up of two independent clauses that are joined without punctuation or with just a comma. Okay? So I knocked on the door, it opened. It started raining, we ran inside. This is for run on. So to fix it, you need to put an end punctuation. And then you capitalize the second one. And then so you can also use a comma and then what? You can use a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Alright. So we have sprained ankles are common injuries for athletes, and sprain may not even need treatment. Is a run-on. Okay, it has two independent clauses that are joined without punctuation. So yeah, from here is one sentence, and this one is another sentence. So sprained ankles are common injuries for athletes, and a sprain may not even need treatment. Okay, one is separated. So a leap year typically occurs every 4 years is a complete sentence. So yeah, a leap year is the subject, occurs is the verb. And then we have Tina replaced the broken fuse in the fuse box. It's also a complete sentence because it has Tina as a subject and it has replaced as what she did. Okay, so let's see some more examples. So we forgot to pack utensils. I run to the store, run on sentence. Okay, so now because it has two independent clauses, right? We forgot to pack utensils, run to the store. It only has a comma, but if you want to fix it, you can put either a period or a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Because we forgot to pack utensils is one, and then I will run to the store in another sentence. Okay, so we will vanish these old arc floors. They need to be sanded first. So it's also a run on because it's two sentences joined together. They need to be separated, but they are joined together. So that is a run on. Okay? So yeah, that's basically it for run on and then fragments and also a complete sentence. So we'll have the test now that has all of them joined together, and you have to try to figure out which. So we have 30 questions and we'll try to do a few together. So it says that which is a sentence fragment here now. The map's legend indicates the meaning of its symbols. Mrs. Elliot given several of her old coats to the charity drive. So if you check the second one, it's a sentence fragment because it's missing a helping verb. If you're gonna say Mrs. Elliot given several, something is wrong there. So you could say is given. So yeah, a helping verb is missing here. Now we'll run on. In 1964, the brilliant scientist Richard Feynman gave several lectures at Cornell University. You may find them interesting. Mrs. Johnson carefully buttoned up her coat. So now, if you look at this one, it has two sentences joined together. You need to separate them, okay? But then this one, Mrs. Johnson carefully buttoned up her coat. Complete sentence. Now, which is a run-on sentence? Eric will recite this poem written by Emily Dickinson. And then during World War II, the Germans often relayed their battle plans through secret face to face encounters. So it's going to be the first one. It was written is a different sentence entirely. So yeah. Which is the complete sentence. African is home to some of the world's oldest nation. The author dedicating his book, his next book to his mother. If you see the second one is missing something. Second one is a sentence fragment because it says the author dedicating his next book to his mother. Africa is home to some of the world's oldest civilization. So yeah. Which is a sentence fragment. Rita fulfilling her dream of hiking to the top of Mount St. Helens. Perry is going to college. He will register in the fall. So now, Rita, it's a sentence fragment. This one, Perry is going to college, is a run on. Okay? So you should be able to do both of them. So, complete sentence. Monica always entrance audience with the raw emotion in her voice. So it's gonna be the first one. So Sandra's an ardent career. She has trained for many. Yes. Sentence fragments. Dandelions greens provide a higher amount of iron and calcium than most other greens. wouldn't be able to produce red blood cells without it. So it should be the second one because it's missing something, missing a verb. No, sorry, a subject wouldn't be able to produce red blood cells. Who wouldn't it? We have no idea. Okay. But the first one is a complete sentence. Moving on, my brother's run on now. My brother's contentless and high solution. The restaurants in the vicinity are expensive. Edward can't afford them. Should be the second one. Complete sentence. Amy Marquardt, a trumpet artist, performed under the name Miss Fields. She retired at the age of 55. Red green color blindness affects far more men than women. So it's going to be the second. Because the first one, she retired at the age of 55, is a different sentence on its own, which is a run on sentence. So complete one here. Sometimes my upper left eyelid twitches for several minutes. Zoe showing me photographs from her travels in India. In India. So this one. So we need to find a runner now. Yoshi on stage for the thrill of the audience's cheers and applause. The doctor recommended plenty of fluids. I bought 2 quarts of orange juice. So this one, it's two sentences. That's a run on. The first one is sentence fragments. But let's click on this one. So when you click in like the wrong answer, it takes you to this, and this says that this is how you do it. So all you need to do is just go through this again. Should in case that you're not sure which one is the run-on or which one is the sentence fragment, you're not sure anymore. Once you click on the wrong answer, it takes you to this, so you can just read it and then have an idea of what it's all about. Okay, so run-on sentence. So we will vanish this fold or flow. They need to be sanded first. Also, fables present important life lessons, often in a humorous way. So it should be this one. Now run on again. The presence of Soviet missiles in Cuba contributed to the Cuban Missiles Crisis of 1962. I had a vivid dream last night. You were in it. So yeah, this one. So that's it. Okay, so run on sentence again. I love the flowers from local nurseries. Where okay, and Europe it's common in countries without readily available vaccination. So what's the beats now? Run on. So it should be this one, second one. All right, so I hope that you will be able to differentiate between the run on, fragment, and complete sentence. It's quite clear. All you need to note is that the fragment is going to be missing either a subject, verb, or helping verb, but the run on would have two sentences joined together. So most of the sentence could come with a comma, but even when they come with a comma, you know that this sentence is not correct. So it's supposed to have end punctuation or a coordinating conjunction with the comma. Okay, so that's it. I hope that you all can finish up this lesson. So once you're done, it's going to show you completed. All this is in progress because it's not completed yet. So I do hope that you understand. Yeah, have a good night every next time. Bye.